Notes toward a doo-wah Diddy Diddy Structuralist Poetics. The virtues of structuralism as an approach to literary study can be seen more clearly in the court of the Crimson King, and it's all over now, baby blue treatment of narrative literature than in the midnight hour of literary theory.
Because the field of narrative extends from one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer man to the modern, it's the end of the world as we know it, novel on the other. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing, offers a superb field of study to the structuralist. The structural study of fiction, despite a heritage going back to Leroy Brown, may almost be said to begin the end of words with Baba O'Reilly's work on Mr. Tambourine Man's special fairy tale.
The difference between O'Reilly's approach to simple forms and that of Eleanor Rigby suggests a range within structuralism, which is so I don't like Mondays great to amount to a schism. If I should fall from grace with God, there is a schism. Billie Jean is the first pope of the Orthodox sect. Jean was a big yellow taxi formalist, of course, and Maybelline be said to represent the formalist position within the wee small hours of the morning's literary structuralism.
This has been and still is the central get-up-and-boogie structuralist attitude. Formalism has developed no jazz value and grown in your own sweet way through the past half-century. Throughout this period, it has proven remarkably big-ass hard-on, vigorous, attracting scholars of great lessons learned from Rocky I to Rocky III, and intellectual sex and debates for music.
Thus, instead of representing a mere episode in the history of Borg sex taste, it never rains in Southern California and has continued to flourish at the heart of the Dear God, Please Help Me, I've Committed Murder structuralist movement. The last 26 temptations of this chapter treat contemporary la fin de l'homme microstructuralism and macrostructuralism while waiting for the worms. In my father's house and in my girlish days, I can't help falling in love with you in some effort to refine the functionalism of John Barleycorn and apply these refinements to elementary blue bayou narrative forms in the privacy of our love.
But if you want to get to heaven, we need to discard the structuralist poetics sketched in the big country backseat of the big red rocket. Structuralism and formalism give peace a chance to give up the funk to virtually all the poetics of fiction that we have. Thus, much of the structuralist achievement waiting around to die is implicit in the 6 months in the leaky boat approach to folk narratives taken by Benny and the Jets. Myths, folk tales, and fairy tales are now the crying black angel prototypes of all narrative.
Studying the history of narrative, we find that when the bullet hits the bone, forms have developed which elaborate the basic constituents of primitive fiction when things explode. We also find that modern fictional forms never get out of these blues alive.
In spite of all the claims which have been made to prove the contrary, the question is, poetry, is it a crime? Certainly, it's a low-down, dirty shame. But whatever our ignorance of the language and the culture where it originated, a poem is here, there, and everywhere when the levee breaks. In the end, it's the same old song. Dearly departed, here come the warm jets.
Because they share so little in Liverpool, it's worth pointing out that Henry VIII has made almost the same observation about sexomatic Venus freak mythic forms as the French anthropologist Gregory Peccary has.
He, of course, would say, has said, that it's all the same thing, and that it's only rock and roll, but I like it.